Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about verses, a game that honestly surprised me in ways that I didn't expect. So if you don't know what Invincible Versus is, it's basically a fighting game based on Invincible universe. But instead of being just another basic superhero cash grab, it actually tries to stand out. And here's how I'm going to
get down for you, Mark.
What the game actually is, why I think it's good, the pros, the cons, and whether it's actually worth your time. Because I'll be honest, this game does a lot right, but it's not perfect. So first off, what even is Invincible Versus? At its core, it's a fast-paced fighting game, kind of similar to stuff like Mortal Kombat, Injustice if you're a hardcore fan like that, or Marvel vs. Capcom. But it leans into more raw brutality and comic-style chaos than all those other games. It does match up to Mortal Kombat because of the violence, but the comic style is what makes it unique. You're playing as characters from the Invincible universe, such as Invincible himself, Omni-Man, and other heroes and villains. And the whole point is just straight up combat, combos, counters, special moves, all that. But what makes it different is the tone. Unlike most superhero games where things feel clean and heroic, this one is violent, messy, and honestly kind of insane in times. That actually fits the Invincible world perfectly. It's not trying to be polished and pretty, it's trying to feel impactful. Why I think it's good. So why do I actually like this game? First thing, it feels powerful. When you land hits, it doesn't feel like you're tapping someone. It feels like you're absolutely destroying them. Every punch has weight. Every combo feels earned. And that's something a lot of games struggle with. Second of all, the pacing is really solid. It's fast enough to stay exciting, but not too fast that you almost feel lost. You can actually learn combos very simply. You can react to your opponent, and you can improve over time. That is a huge must-have for a game if you are not an expert. Third, the style fits perfectly. The Invincible universe is known for being superhero-based, but also really dark and intense. And the game actually commits to that instead of just watering it down. It doesn't feel like a generic superhero game with an invincible skin slapped on it. It feels like, yeah, this one belongs in that universe. Fourth, it's fun to mess around in. Even if you're not playing competitively, you can try crazy combos, experiment with characters, and just enjoy the chaos. And that's honestly underrated. Not every game needs to be super serious. Alright, let's break that down to the biggest pros. 1. Combat feels impactful. This is probably the biggest win. The hits actually feel heavy, and it makes every move more satisfying. 2. Unique tone. Most superhero games play it safe. This one doesn't. It embraces violence, intensity, and the darker side of heroes, which makes it stand out instantly. Number 3. Easy to pick up, hard to master. You can jump in and have fun quickly, but there's still depth if you want to get better. The game has balance that is hard to get right, but this game nails it. Character variety. Different characters feel different enough to keep things interesting. You're not just playing reskins, there's actual variety. Fighting games naturally have replayability, but this one especially does. Because of the matches and how they feel different each time, you can always improve. You can always get better. And experimenting in this game is really fun. Here are the cons. Now, let's talk about the downsides, because unfortunately, there are some. The game could feel repetitive at times. At the end of the day, it is a fighting game, so if you're not into that loop of fight, learn, repeat, you might get bored faster than expected. Number 2, the skill gap. If you go online, yeah, you're probably getting destroyed at first. That's just how fighting games are. So if you don't like losing while learning, it might be frustrating. 3. Potential lack of content depending on your version. So if you got the base game, I think even the deluxe edition, I got the base game. For me, the roster doesn't feel as grand, doesn't feel as big. It can almost feel limited at times. Like, almost if there's not enough characters and not enough game modes. This can hurt long-term interest, but can be fixed with further updates. Number 4, this game is not for everyone. If you're expecting an open world, story-driven gameplay, something similar to the Marvel Spider-Man games, which has a unique combat style similar to also to the Batman Arkham games, which is basically just an open world fighting game where like you're swinging through the city. This one is kind of locked between the Mortal Kombat universe and Invincible. So this is basically a game that it's not open world is what I'm trying to say. It's not a type of game that people will absolutely love if you're not into that kind of stuff. Think about Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's basically like that, but 3D and also has rich amount of violence. It's a straight up fighting game. Another reason I wanted to state was that the Invincible story is only about 1 hour long. I beat the entire story in 30-ish minutes. I think it could have been longer. Let me go check on that. But the Invincible story isn't as long as you would think. So, basically, to cut it short, here's some spoilers. You're basically invincible at the beginning of the game, and you're fighting Omni-Man, but he's wearing his like Viltrumite clothes and all that. It's like an alternate reality. Later into the fight, you realize he starts like glitching, and then like it happens to a bunch of other characters too. You get thrown into many fights, many battles, and then eventually you get like teleported to this place. I'm not gonna go over it too much, but there is just a short story game. If you're looking for story games, then you should probably like skip this game unless you just want to go for the fighting. So overall, I think Invincible Versus is actually a really solid game, especially if you like fighting games or just want something that feels more intense than your typical superhero stuff. It's not perfect, but what it does well, it does really good at it. If you're into fast combat, brutal fights, and learning mechanics over time, you'll probably enjoy it. If not, you might bounce off it pretty quick. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know. Would you actually play Invincible Versus? Or is it just not your type of game? I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys.